nice plant. Just be modest with the watering.
Chris Evans and his family run a garden centre near Cheltenham. But there's a little more to it than that. Behind the garden centre are several acres of land, and it's here that Chris has created a project of lasting value to the wider community. Everyone is welcome at the Butterfly Garden.
We have very much an open door policy here, which is recognising that everybody, irrespective of their condition, of their colour, race, creed, age, disability, anything, none of those things should be a barrier to inclusion. So in the same way that I wouldn't expect to go down the street and separate people into little groups, so I want people to come here and be part of the community.
In a safe and trusting atmosphere, workshops, recycling schemes and many creative activities give people confidence and a sense of purpose.
Every day I got art there, and then I got garden inside, and I do pottery, and I do some reading, and everything.
Chris has spent his life here, taking over the management of the garden centre from his father and grandfather.
When I got into my 20s, I just took to the job, and that was my daily routine. Every day I was out here, 7 days a week, exactly as my father and grandfather.
And then something unexpected happened.
I made a journey through to the age of 49 and was still totally at ease with the whole thing. And then somebody walked into the garden centre with 6 youngsters who were autistic and said that they were looking to set up a small gardening project at school, and could I spare them 10 minutes to talk about my life as a gardener. And I could see in their eyes an illumination, an excitement, the same excitement I'd experienced. After 2 weeks somebody phoned and said, we've got another 15 who want to come. So they came, and I suppose I was naive really, I just assumed that that was what you did. And then things exploded.
10 years on, people flock here every week in their hundreds.
It's interesting for me that it started from those who would be seen as having the most difficult journeys. So we're building from the ground up. People with difficulty are embracing the rest of the world and saying, please come and be part of our community.
There is a real sense of routine here, with many special schools and colleges attending every week. But Chris recognises that people's needs don't end when they finish their education.
What I got to realise was there's a screaming gap and not enough information to fulfil the needs of those who've passed out of education. When they get to the age of 20, they are set free with a notion that if they catch a bus, the world is waiting for them. And sadly it isn't. It is important to sow a seed of hope. So I deliberately canvass the special schools and then with the special colleges, so that I lead people through and prove that there are things out there.
Peter has started himself on a bird box. This is a birdhouse. This is the finished model here, which these lads are capable of doing on their own. They've got now the ability to do it themselves.
I've learned a lot from doing it.
And I'm hoping now that soon time will come when he can get himself a job outside.
I don't want to create a cosy cul-de-sac. So I continue to explore opportunity for eventually leading people on from here.
Chris has been able to make both the land and the buildings available from the garden centre, and on a day-to-day basis, very little money changes hands.
With a charity, I have set it down in stone that students will not pay and staff will not be paid. So there is no payment. I don't take any payment, and neither does anybody else.
Just to volunteer really, just wanted to find out what I wanted to do after leaving school this year, so I'd love to become a care worker or support worker. And this has helped me decide that, because before I started I wanted to become an art teacher, and this has completely changed my mind.
Whether it's using wood donated to the charity by local companies, vegetables bought in bulk, or extracting videotape to be recycled into fleecy jackets, all profits go towards basic running costs and buying tools and equipment. But for Chris and the other volunteers, this place is rich with another resource, the human one.
We're training enthusiasts, so we're reading the model railway magazines. Yeah.
The students are a joy. They're entitled to a life. The life that they have shouldn't be sanitised. It should be, as mine has been, full of adventure. So I encourage adventure. And if one of them said to me, I want to build a tinfoil model of the Eiffel Tower, I'd go out now and buy the tinfoil.
I bumped into a young lad, as we know as Gerald. He wanted an idea, and I thought, why not give him a station in the garden? And this is the name of the station, named after Gerald. Yeah, Topler Station. Yeah.
Please go inside and be crushing the Tin Can Crusher.
For some, coming to the Butterfly Garden has been life-changing.
I've been here about a year, and Monday, Tuesday and Thursday and Friday.
Alistair was having a difficult journey, really. In the first instance, he came for one day, and then he discovered video recycling, and he loves it, absolutely loves it.
Just open this part, and then both film is going into this one. Okay, that's done. Now the metal stuff we're going into another container in this one.
He's very particular, he's very meticulous. We've set him up with his own space. And even in the worst of weathers, he will insist on spending 6 hours on the trot in that space because he finds it totally purposeful. And he's now starting to loosen up a bit, so he is socialising with other people around the site, which he didn't do to begin with. So that's been massive for us. I mean, he's a delightful lad.
White's in this one, and 2 black ones. It's done.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You sang the whole thing, didn't you? By yourself?
Yeah.
Which was brilliant. So to come to this point on his journey, to have spent nearly 7 years of his life in a very, very protected environment, to now find himself walking the lane and catching 2 buses and standing on a stage and singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is massive, and we are hugely proud of him.
Chris has been able to give both land and time, but with a generosity of spirit, he has allowed a special place to come into being.
The sort of people that will take on a project like this will be people that suddenly look at what they're doing and look at their values and say, well, actually, it looks as though it could be more fulfilling. You know, that's not going to be for everybody. In my own case, I couldn't believe my luck. I couldn't believe my luck. I was enjoying my job, and suddenly here were some people who were getting excited like I got excited. And the daily reward is a generosity of spirit that I could never put a price to. People will turn up with random things, and before you know it, they've turned into a piece of sculpture. The quirkiness is important. I want people to be still surprised by walking around a corner and seeing something that you didn't expect to be there. But you get stories from that, and that sparks imagination. And so, yeah, we don't turn people away, we don't turn items away, because every person or every item may be the starting block of the next adventure.
I found the remote control car is good for sale.
Was it any good?
It was working.
Really?
I put it in the cupboard by the bumper. Yeah.
Well done, well spotted. Somebody turned up with a piano and said, would you like this piano? It was going in a skip, and I said, yes, I'll have it. And 2 days later, I could hear the piano in the classroom, and there was a new student had spotted the piano, and it was beautiful.